So I tried to pronounce Crepo's name last time we were here. Ocelot told me how to pronounce his alias and Peke's alias in Spanish in the proper. So it's Otholote and X Peke. Because X in Spanish is X, right? So it's not exactly special, but he told me how to say them and I wanted to put them out there.
Maybe he was trolling you.
He might have been.
Might have been. Well, we do see on the screen the picks and bans. And speaking of bans, we have Varus, Nasus, and Cassian banned up for SK. Of course, you're going to take that Cassian away from Xpeke. You don't want to let him play that.
Xpeke.
And of course, on the other side of that coin, Shen, Jarvan, and Thresh banned out. That Jarvan going to be targeted at Hercule. He's been playing phenomenal with him. The Shen going to be targeted at Kevin, and the Thresh. I mean, you don't want to let anyone play Thresh. And even Nif, who we talked to him after the last time they played, and he said, you know, my Thresh wasn't that good, but apparently his team thought it was.
All right, so you've seen the respect bans come out there. The first pick, Volibear, I think, is something to be expected, of course, when you see Nasus and Jarvan banned out. That seem to be the three big junglers. Now, Udyr is available this patch, and he has the changes. It's a 3.5 patch here, so we'll see if Udyr ends up being a big contentious pick. We saw him multiple times in North America. Hotshot ran him in the top lane. We saw St. Vicious run him in the jungle. We'll see what happens here. Fnatic's just looking at the next picks. They're looking at Lulu Misfortune.
Okay, so that's going to be a really interesting lane to have. Nice protection with that Lulu. The nice slow to shut down Volibear, so we might need to see a flash come out of Hercule to really engage, because that's a good shutdown with that Lulu combo. And of course, Yellowstar on that Misfortune, great job with him. Towards the beginning of the season, he was even running a couple of games where he was unkilled, so he was like 8-0 and 9, something like that. So it's going to be a really good bot lane for them, but I'm curious who they're going to pick up for their jungler, like over on Fnatic's side. I
mean, you got the Udyr that was potentially mentioned before. Of course, there's still a roster to go through. I haven't really seen Kayle in forever, though. I feel like she's still great, and none of her jungle pressure really got removed. So, yeah, I mean, we'll just kind of see. There's a whole just wide open door for these guys.
I mean, we might even see potentially Nunu come out of the jungle, because Cyanide is a really big Nunu, well, not really big Nunu jungler, but he's one of the few that actually runs them. Also synergizes well with canceling out the Volibear and giving that Misfortune that nice attack speed buff.
Okay, so let's see. Of course, they're taking their time though, which to me is interesting because, so I like always think about the psychology behind how picks come out. And when bans come by really, really fast, it means when they research their team, they know what bans they want to go for. Right. Nothing surprised them on the other side. So they actually knew the opposing bans as well. When picks take a while, usually it tells me that they are surprised by something and that they're like, oh, but they removed, okay, their bottom lane is this. Okay, we have to think about, was the bottom lane we were intending going to work against MF Lulu? And they have to like take a while and think about it, and then, okay, yeah, this is going to work, and then they take some more time, and like, it tells me that SK is a little bit, not necessarily shaken up, but they've had to kind of change their game plan a bit in Champ Select.
And maybe they're even mind gaming the casters, just like, we're going to sit here till the last second to lock in our champion just to see what they do.
And I'm just going to start rambling about picks.
But we do have Twitch and Sona locked in. Could be a really interesting bot lane for them. Nice little bit of poke there. Nice sustain as well to really help against this Misfortune Lulu lane. And then you see Twisted Fate locked in for Xpeke. We're going to see him in that middle lane. And then you have Nocturne on top of that. So you have really nice global presence from that team. If you ever see Nocturne go in for a gank, TF won't be spotted when going, well, most likely won't be spotted when going in, and that'll create some nice pressure into every single lane. And we'll see if they can really lock that down. And we were, talking about what's Cyanide going to jungle. And Nocturne, he's mostly more known in the Asian scene, but I'm glad to see him picture because he's a really fun jungler, even though he kind of fell off over the past couple of weeks. And actually, no, even before LCS.
Yeah, he hadn't been popular for a while. We saw basically Sinjao, Jarvan, Volibear, Nasus like over and over and over again. We actually saw Nocturne in TSM versus Curse last week as well. So, or last night really, technically today in Europe because it was midnight. But so we see like he's starting to come back already.
Yeah. And we do see, it looks like Diana and Olaf going to be... Ooh, Olaf. Okay, so Diana and Olaf locked in. We have not seen Olaf in a long time, Freak. I'm actually really excited to see this because Kevin in the top lane during the first couple of weeks, the game in particular I'm thinking of is the SK versus EG. He was just unstoppable. He was like he was like 5-0 lane. He just built up tanky as hell, and they could not kill him at all. And I'm curious to see how he's going to do here, since he obviously will be able to be counterpicked, as you see the least locked in. And then the Diana... I mean, she's kind of come back in the scene, that new build, that Scar kind of started, you go for the Nashor's 2 to really get that attack speed in. Should be really interesting to see if he can take on, his Spanish companion, Xpeke in the mid laner. Sorry,
Xpeke. It's interesting, so I actually talked to Ocelot like half an hour before the match. I was like, Ocelot, what are you going to play? And he's like, probably Diana, maybe Fizz. And so he knew coming into the match, he actually wanted to go for this all-in 1v1 assassin type, which when you think about it, makes a lot of sense against Peke because the Moonfall stopped the ultimate. And as far as 1v1 goes, you don't get much better than Diana in heads-up competition. So they didn't ban TF on purpose. They knew TF was going to come out there, right? They banned Cast and said, okay, we'll remove this, but we know you'll go TF. We'll pick Diana to beat it. Game, you see the game has been started. SK on the blue side, currently 3rd place in the European LCS rankings. And guys, there's still about 3 weeks left, a number of games left for these guys to bring themselves into the top 2. Fnatic right now start at number 1. They are the best team in Europe right now, and it's because they are consistent. We'll see if they can keep doing this. And speaking of consistency, Fnatic are 17-0 against SK on LAN. So they come into this pretty big favorites.
Yeah, I'd say 17-0. Pretty much can pretty much guarantee another win for them coming up. But we do have simultaneous invades happening here. SK going through the top side of Fnatic's jungle, and of course Fnatic going through the bottom side. Looks like they will be able to still wave buffs here, and a nice pink ward put down that tri-bush to really see if they were spotted. But as you can tell, not going to be there. And it looks like we might be trading reds here, though. Fnatic does have the potential to actually back away.
It's interesting because this is kind of like a Newton's third law of invades. They're equal and opposite right now. They both came through tri-bush. They both went towards red buff. They've warded a bit differently, but still, it's a very, very interesting setup. This reminds me actually a little bit of what CLG had planned for the World Championships, where they were going to wait and actually proxy the first set of minions down by this turret. I don't know if it's what Fnatic's going to do, but they're still in position for it.
They're waiting for Candy Panda and Nif to come in because they think they're going to be going for double golem. So we do see someone backing. Not sure who that is exactly, but he's going to come in here and he might get spotted, might get caught, and it might be first blood here. It's free.
Going to walk right by. One's already recalled back. He's actually stealth. Oh my God! Oh, he's stealth right as he went through the brush, and he's like, oh, it's Fnatic. Peace.
Oh my God, Candy Panda. His like Jedi senses must have been tingling, or Spidey senses must have been tingling right there, because that was ridiculous.
Rated has a pink ward. And Rated literally has a pink ward and didn't put it down in the brush. He glitter lanced and didn't pink ward, and they would have had first blood.
Oh man, that's a highlight right there if I haven't seen one ever before. But such a great play to Candy Panda, avoiding that first blood death, and it looks like red buffs will be traded over here.
All right, here we can see them being stolen away. Cyanide has that one. He's actually running down towards his bottom lane, and that tri-brush is pinked. He can go. Oh, he's actually already learned the fear tether. He's gonna go in right now on the back. Nif actually waiting for him. He sees him, puts out the Q when they hit Candy Panda. He's stealthing out. The pink ward is down. Will they get enough? He's been fear tethered, but he's under the turret. He's gonna be safe. Takes some poke, but he's fine.
Yeah, and luckily he has Sona in his lane to give him that nice sustain. But Nif, great play right there by him to sit back, since he didn't want to put a ward in that bush, assuming it would be pink warded, and really kept Candy Panda a little bit safe right there, so he could farm up. But with this low health he's at right now, he's being pushed away from these minions. He's being zoned quite well. Yeah,
Nif's only level 1. There's no heal available. Candy Panda certainly not in a great place. Yellow Star and Rated constantly trying to poke. And, you know, it's a very late game champion, this Twitch, but his early game is going to suck right now.
Yeah, it really is, because now we have Yellow Star, who's level 2 at this point. We do have both junglers to be going for blue buffs here, so they're playing a little bit slower now. But we do have nice ward coverage for SK and Fnatic side. So when we see Nocturne come around into that top side of the map, Kevin will know when to back off. Candy Panda getting pushed out of lane level 1. This is going to be huge for Fnatic. That little bit of harass that Cyanide did coming into lane is just going to shut him down. He's going to come back still level 1 to the almost level 3 Misfortune.
That's so brutal. What you actually saw was N-Rated put help picks onto Sona and use that as a launching point for Glitter Lance to actually hit Candy Panda. He's stopped 2 recalls now. He's going to miss so many minions in lane. Speaking of that, it's 3-18 right now, Freak. We have a level 3 Misfortune. He is still level 1. He's actually almost level 2 at this point, but there is no more pink wards available for Fnatic to use. So if they do push out, they will have that one in the bottom bush, but that's about it. And we have Nocturne back towards the top side of the jungle, actually going for double golems. Haven't really seen that often, but Hercubot, he's sitting in the bushes. He's waiting to go in here, or at least go for a counter gank. And Cyanide is right there next to Hercubot and Kevin. They both sit in the brush. I don't believe they saw Nocturne go by for the counter gank. So really, it's a giant game of deception right now. The wave is pushing up towards the top. They're going to try to get around SOAS, but he sees Cyanide. 2v2, are they going to go in for this one? Kevin looks to pick up Undertow. He's not going to. So he should put some harass down, no battle. And one thing we should point out is that Hercubot is running Flash. So we talked about in the picks and bans how he's going to need that to get around that Lulu slow. And that is actually exactly how he's going to do it. So we could see a Flash engage, but I wouldn't really expect it since you have Elise who's just so mobile, so able to get away, not to mention he has Flash available. Yeah, it's going to be a difficult one overall, but you are seeing SK shove out pretty hard right now. They're just chain ganging these minions together. Up in the mid lane, you're seeing Ocelot 21-32. Pekka is significantly ahead of his Spanish compatriot here.
And
that's actually a pretty good thing for Fnatic.
You should kind of expect that, though, with Diana. I mean, it's a melee champion, so you're going to have a lot of problems. You do see Hercubot going to be fear tethered here, and SOAS will be able to escape with that repel.
Well, the stun lands on a Hercubot, though. They're actually going back in for counterattack damage. He's got the fling available, does not quite land it. Hercubot took a bunch of punishment, though. They opened up on SOAS. He burned his red elixir to get out of that one, and now they're more or less equal again.
And they burned a lot of mana on him as well, so that's going to give Kevin a nice bit of time to not be harassed anymore in lane. We have Cyanide sticking around yet again. But going back to the mid lane, we were saying about Diana, I mean, it's a melee champion, and around level 7 is when you're going to see Ocelot just take off, and he can pretty much 1v1 Xpeke then. But Xpeke is doing a great job of just denying him as much as possible, keeping the lane pushed up as much as possible, and not letting Ocelot actually back. Because Hercubot was in that top lane really babysitting at this point, he has been able to go to the mid lane and let Ocelot, get his mana back, maybe buy up.
And this bottom lane has finally shoved back. As we go back to this lane right here, you're seeing Candy Panda now at 25 to 38 in minions. He actually recalled back for 2 potions and hasn't had to use any since he got back to lane. So this is actually much better for Candy Panda. He's kind of stopped the bleeding here. You're going to see this matchup continue on. And there's not much to say. I mean, they're back to the farming race right now, and there's no more harass really happening onto this Twitch.
Yeah, this game, though, it's been a little bit slow now, but it should really take off in the next couple of minutes where Xpeke will be level 6. We will have Cyanide, who's about halfway to level 5. Once he hits 6 as well, it's going to be just insane. There's going to be action breaking out everywhere. And I'm curious to see where that first split's actually going to go down. And Freak, where do you think it's going to happen?
It's got to be on the top or bottom lane, I think, much more so than mid, because you've got Cyanide and Peke, who both have quasi-global teleports, so they can both participate in a fight. Now, the thing is, if Kevin hits 6, he'll just ghost ult and get away, and maybe they burn cooldowns just to burn his ult, but otherwise he'll get out from that gank. It's Candy Panda and Nif that they're going to look for. Yeah,
and not to mention the Twisted Fate sight from his ultimate will be able to spot Candy Panda when he does stealth up, so I think that's actually a very good idea for that to happen. And SK, they have to kind of assume that as well, and we might see Hercubot kind of head over towards that side of the map. The red buff was taken right off the bat by both junglers, obviously the opposing one, and that will be up in about 20 seconds, as it looks like Sana won't even try to go for an invade to take it yet again. But Hercubot on the other side will be going for it.
Yeah, he's looking for the race right now. It should be a pretty easy steal. They've actually pinged each other out. They actually did see where Cyanide was, and Cyanide is holding that mid lane. Hercubot, yeah, he saw Cyanide go to the mid lane and come back around. This is one thing I do too much in solo queue and die for it, is the jungler comes to stop me counter jungling and I just still get hit. And so this time, he's smarter than I am and does not get hit by Cyanide.
He is a very smart bear this time.
Better than I am. Smarter than your average bear, that's for sure.
Quite indeed. In the meantime, CS, as we can look across the board, it's starting to even out. I mean, as you check out the mid lane, Ocelot, who is level 6 now, it's 48 to 56, not as big of a gap, even though Hercubot's been around the middle a little bit to help him out. Junglers are pretty even. Top lane as well, where SOAS is actually behind in CS now because of the babysit we saw out of Hercubot. And then we see in the bot lane that CS gap has closed up as well. So SK is getting back in the game.
They know he's at double golems. They saw the trail come out from Nocturne, but they're just going to go for the red steal right here. Ocelot shoved the lane out. And things, Peke is not reacting to that at all. So this is almost a free red steal. Even Olaf shoved the wave out as well. Hercubot's actually already grabbed it. This is a just untouched red steal. Great play by SK.
I was expecting to maybe get a little bit more damage onto that turret. Instead, he backs up. He's heading down towards the bot lane. He might be trying to go for a gank here. There is no ward to spot him, though they did see from the turret he actually went down that way. And we see that ward in the middle bush right there, and it does spot him as he's coming down into the bot lane, trying to go for a gank.
And he does land the stun onto Nif. A lot of damage there. They're going to follow up on this one. Look at the damage output. Sona goes down. Nif just did not have anything to do. And the thing is, SK even knew he was there. They were pinging him out as he ran to the bottom lane.
Yep, but your crystal ball stayed true right there. First blood for Fnatic in that bottom lane. And now we're having Xpeke stick around, trying to push up that turret. We have Cyanide holding the mid lane, which is exactly what they needed to do. And they're going to get a lot of damage onto the turret. They potentially could go for the turret if they wanted, but Hercubot will have to come around and really help this lane out.
This is interesting because, yeah, they just send Peke back right away. Hercubot does come to support the lane, as you call. And it's Yellow Star and Enraider actually being forced more or less away. Candy Panda can last hit on turret.
And we see wow, his name is so hard to say. Hercubot is level 6 right now. Cyanide, who will be sitting in this mid lane pushing up, will get level 6 in a second as Ocelot picks up his own blue buff here. So we have a decent cooldown on Xpeke right now on his ultimate, but Cyanide is up, so that global presence still exists.
Yeah, it's interesting to me that they actually didn't need to use Cyanide. Actually, I'm not sure he was 6 yet, but to be fair, yeah, you shake your head no. So Peke got it just by himself, so imagine what happens when they put Paranoia on top of that one. And Rated being forced away. Peke just grabbing his blue buff for himself. And now it's the time. Looks like SK's grouping up. Ocelot and Hercubot are going towards the blue, but it's already been taken.
Yeah, and we see Kevin heading towards the top lane as Soaz just back. We could maybe see a dragon happening, but as we see Soaz head up towards the top lane, I'm assuming it's not really going to go down. And luckily for SK's side, they have Diana, so she can push the lane or shove the lane back into Expeke pretty well. And that's what you have to do against a Twisted Fate, is he wants to push the lane up against you, teleport into the lane, gank it, and then get back to that mid lane as quick as possible. But since Ocelot can push it back so hard, he's going to keep that threat of that turret going down.
You can see just how well Ocelot's kind of manipulating this lane. He keeps running into the brush and trying to scare his opponents away anytime minions aren't there anymore. And it forces, you know, Fnatic pings him, says, hey, he's over on this side, be careful top lane, by the way. And then he just comes back in with, and all he did was just create some paranoia, really. Yeah.
No, because that's one of Nocturne. That's
I know. As I said it, I was like, that was not even intentional. That's how good I am.
He was headed up towards the top lane, though, and it looked like he wanted to go in for Kevin, but as you mentioned before, that ultimate, that ghost made available, he should easily be able to escape, though his ult is down at this point, which is why Sunny was there, but it won't be enough in the end, and he will just back off. And even Hercubot was sniffing around and kind of expected it. Yeah,
it seems like he's ready for this one, though. They might push down into Soaz. The lane is right in front of Soaz's turret. We'll see how well he freezes it. But Nocturne is far enough away, they could go for this right now. And he's going bottom lane again. It's going to be on the Nip once more. Candy Panda flashes away, but it's not even for him. They just find the kills on Sona over and over.
That was a great play yet again. They knew his flash was down from the last time he used it. Looks like they will be going for Dragon on top of this. No ward for SK. It should be a free Dragon as Nocturne even comes around. Not to mention, if he needs to, he has an ultimate to use defensively to deny that vision away from SK.
And you're seeing actually the dive up in the top lane at Soaz. Look at the damage up on him, but he finds Hercubot for free. Kevin's going to wait around, and he jumps the other way. Soaz not even flashed. Now he flashes the wall, and he's completely... Actually, Kevin could try. His ghost is still on for a few more seconds. He lands the undertow. Kevin, nice aim right there, picks it up.
And we talked about how amazing this weekend's going to be with the LCS matches, and we've already had it in this first one with El Clasico. Great job by Kevin to pick up that kill, even with that ranked 5 undertow, since he was juked out a little bit, as we saw that nice flash out of Soaz going over that wall, but wasn't enough in the end. Great play by Kevin to turn around and at least pick up one kill, but we have to keep in mind, Soaz did kill Hercubot.
And he's going to find Kevin right now. Cyanide 1v1. Kevin does not have anything available, but auto attack.
He can turn this around.
Will it be enough? He's oh my gosh, Cyanide did not want to pick that fight after all. Kevin, Peke does not have ult, but he does have flash. He flashes the Ocelot Q, and that's going to be enough to let him go away.
That is a manly Olaf right there. I mean, going head-to-head against Cyanide when he was pretty much almost dead at that point, but of course, the lower health he gets, quicker his attack speed is going to be, the more he's going to lifesteal, and the harder he's going to hit, even with that red buff.
And you just saw that was a, that Ghost did not like fighting the Viking.
Whoever knew? Vikings are the new Ghostbusters.
Nice. Doesn't even need like special devices, just axe is all it takes to kill ghosts.
His manly brute force is enough.
That's good. That just... Now, I have more respect for Olaf now. He's a Ghostbuster, dude. That's great.
Who are you going to call?
Olaf.
There you go.
I'm going to call Olaf for Ghostbusting. Hercubot moving around in the mid lane. Introducing a bunch of lane swaps. Suddenly, Ocelot and Peke are fighting in the top lane. And the jungler and the top laner for Fnatic are fighting in mid. They're actually swapping back now, though.
And so far, I mean, we're 13 minutes in, so we can kind of take a recap of what's happened so far. We've had that first what happened at bottom lane on a Nif. Killed again right after that when we saw Expeke's ultimate come up. Then we saw Soaz go down the top lane, but he did pick up a kill on Hercubot. So we have 1 kill for the top lane, 1 kill for the middle, 1 kill for the AD carry for Fnatic. That's a great spread of kills right now, even though we don't have any assists or anything on a Cyanide. And the only kill for SK is currently on Kevin. We do see Twisted Fate come down in the bot lane yet again.
And of course, Candy Panda burned his flash last time. They put a lot of burst on him, slow on everybody. They find one kill, they chased it on a Nif. Peke will not trade his life for this one. Hercubot shows up, forces them back. Oh, I don't know if he's going to find anything for it. No. 1 for 0 again. These repeated Destiny ganks bottom lane have worked over and over again.
And the thing is, SK has a ward in middle to spot him coming down, but they just don't react quick enough at this point. Though we could see Expeke go down into the enemy jungle and then teleport down, but that's 3 kills now. That's 3 times he's ulted in the bot lane, and he's gotten 3 kills once every time.
Every single time. He just gets into position enough that he's just behind, and they layer the crowd control, the gold card into Glitter Lance, into bullet time. Time after time after time is enough, and we're seeing this turret now take a bunch of punishment. Looks like Fnatic will take the first turret kill of the game at 14 minutes. Guys, it's El Clasico, and Fnatic with a 17-0 record are looking to make this one 18-0 against SK Gaming.
Not only did they take that turret, but they also took a 4,000 gold lead only 14 minutes in. That is just ridiculous to have right off the bat. We have a lot of gold on pretty much every member of Fnatic at this point. I mean, you even see that Expeke is over 1,000 gold ahead of Ocelot right now because of those ganks over and over. Top lane, even Soaz has the money advantage over Kevin. Like we said, 3 for 3, Expeke has been down there. Got to kill every single time. They need to shut that down somehow.
All right, we'll see what ends up happening here. Fnatic going back for their own golem buff. Looks like this has not been contested. Just that one red buff steal. SOAS actually heads up against Kevin, forcing him to run away. Looks like his Q, another second until it's available. Will it be enough? He's going to go back in, brings the Spiderlings forward. A lot of damage there. Kevin burns his ulti to run from this one, but he's still getting pushed down. SOAS, wow, he burns Ghost, but it was already out of range. And SOAS burns burns the Ghost from Kevin for his own Ignite.
Ghost and his ultimate, which is going to be really key here since Dragon will be coming up relatively soon. That lets them know that, hey, we could probably go for a Dragon knowing that that's down, so you'll have the Yellowstar would be completely fine, won't be really attacked too much, but they are going for a 4-man push on this middle turret that's rotating from that bot lane to middle, and because of this forces Candy Panda to go there. It forces him to sit middle and really defend it. He can't farm at that bot lane, he can't freeze it either, and it's just shutting him out of this game.
There's a bunch of Minuets grouped up there as well. That's going to be a pretty brutal situation for him. Peke actually already enough AP to one-shot caster minions with just wild cards, so that shove is so incredibly strong, but they're not trying to fight against SK. They pulled Candy Panda and said, okay, that's enough. We're not going to do much else. SOAS actually running back toward the top lane, so he's not coming for a Dragon just yet by any means. He's going to go and stay heads up against Kevin, who now has no escape abilities. Maybe it's going to be enough for a kill.
It might be indeed, but then we do have the ultimates up from Fnatic for Xpeke and for Cyanide, so we should see a gank coming in, as you do see. Cyanide was heading up towards that top side, puts a pink ward down even. But even though Fnatic, they weren't able to get the turret, weren't able to get a lot of pressure into the middle lane, they still denied a lot of CS from Candy Panda. It looks like they might be able to get the turret on this next wave.
It's getting lower and lower and lower overall. SK are definitely stuck here, grouping up to keep this one alive. But Candy Panda is being allowed to farm now. He's got most of a Bloodthirster. You're seeing that already completed for Yellowstar, so certainly a lead right there. And so it just stays heads up against Kevin. You can see the poke coming out from the Q is quite nice. And there's a little bit of pressure on this turret. It's not going to die too fast, but he's trying.
Yeah, they're a little scared of that initiate out of SK. We've seen Nif do this before in the first 3 weeks. We do see Kevin actually not chasing down. So we've seen Nif do this in the first couple of weeks on a Sona. He would do a lot of flash initiate crescendos. He would always hit like 3 or 4 people. They're scared of that, and then you have the Volibear flip into the team where you can shut down. We have Xpeke actually ulting onto the top and onto Kevin.
And he's going to find the sun. The ult comes out, but it's not going to be nearly enough. And the repel used. Peke going to pull turret aggro for now. Make sure SOAS can get out. Nice teamwork there. Yeah. Keeping his teammate alive. Fnatic finds another kill, 5-1 here, and now they might get the turret.
And now Fnatic, or SK can't really react as they can't get to top lane and defend that turret, so they're going for a push on the middle lane. That turret is very healthy right now, and with Cyanide there to help wave clear with Flare Lens out of N-rated, they're not going to be able to get this turret down, so they do rotate down towards the bottom side of the map, where Dragon is available right now. Yep. However, look at the top lane for Fnatic. They have Xpeke, they have SOAS pushing that second tier turret, and honestly, a Dragon for a tier 2 turret in the top lane is not worth it.
That's pretty rough right now, but you're seeing a 4v3 at best for Fnatic, so they're not even going to try for this one. SK is going to find that one. However, Fnatic might find the mid turret as well. They might actually lose this trade heavily. The minions pile in, and SK are probably not going to be there in time, but Kevin just might. Oh. No, not quite. These turrets both go down with a minion just barely alive. So 2 turrets for a Dragon. You called it. Better for Fnatic.
Yeah, worth it any day. I mean, SK, they kind of needed the Dragon to get back in the game, but I think losing those 2 turrets is going to put them even further behind than losing the Dragon would have in the end. But great job by Fnatic to notice that. Like, they're like, hey, Dragon's coming up soon. We have Kevin very low in the top lane. Let's send Xpeke out there, get a kill, maybe push down 2 turrets and let them have that Dragon.
Yeah, Fnatic didn't even have to say it in chat for that to be worth it. That was an excellent play by them. Everyone already knew it was. Yellowstar, you're seeing him get bigger and bigger overall. 145 minions, 159 with 2 kills. Lichbane and needs a large rod here for Xpeke. Fnatic are certainly scaling through this game quite well.
And they've been keeping the kill spread just perfect. They have 1 on the SOAS, or sorry, 2 on the SOAS, 2 on Xpeke, even 1 on Yellowstar. No kills for Cyanide. Actually hasn't participated in any of the kills just yet, unfortunately for him. But even N-rated, who has 0, 0, and 3 right now. This is exactly what you want to do. You're getting your DPS fed. You're also getting them a little bit tanky as you see SOAS picking up a Giant's Belt. Looks like he's going to be going for a Sunfire Cape next. But it's just a great job by Fnatic right now.
All right, and let's see what they can end up doing with this. Of course, we know that their late game tends to be stronger. That even when SK has an early game lead, Fnatic has tended to pull it back out anyway. Jeez. So the early game victory. And yeah, that
wave clear.
When I play TF, I always love when I'm a little bit fed because I have enough AP to one-shot with red card Q. And it just feels so good. You're like, man, no matter how bad I am at the game, I will always last hit a wave. It's seriously a great feeling when you're like, oh, I get every minion. It's impossible to screw up. It's actually impossible.
Unless you throw like a blue card.
I mean, yeah, sure. Like, unless you like actually screw up, it's impossible to screw up.
But one thing we should mention on Xpeke is that, yeah, he has the power to push the lane. He also has a Lich Bane. So the threat of him just split pushing right now is just so deadly at this point, where you can push down turrets very quickly, even 20 minutes into the game.
And we're going to see that as it pans through. I mean, Peke, we've known him as a key split pusher, a big damage threat, and one of the main reasons they pull out late game. But I do want to point to SK's lineup, though. We've talked about Fnatic's a whole lot. SK's late game, to me, looks pretty good as well. Yeah,
they do. They have a really tanky front line, because you see also actually went for Zonias as well. And then they have decent protection on a Candy Panda with the Crescendo, with the pullback from Moonfall if we want to see Offset actually use it for that, or even a clip out of Hercubot. So they have good protection for him. He's going for a Blade of the Rune King now as well. So if he can be protected, which is all they really have to do, he should be able to shred down Fnatic, because they're really squishy with that Twisted Fate, with the Misfortune, with Nocturne, who actually has a Frozen Mallet now, and then Soaz, who will be getting that Sunfire Cape.
All right, the ult comes out from Peke, though. Are they going to find anything here? I think they're just spotting to see if they're getting ganked. And he actually jumps onto Candy Panda and lands the gold card stun. Will they have enough to follow up? Peke is so incredibly low, flashes out of the turret range, but they do get the kill onto Candy Panda, just recklessly forcing that battle, and it happened.
That teamwork was so spot on. You saw Candy Panda sit in my turret. He's like, oh, he's not going to ult me. I'm under my turret right now. And he ends up coming in anyways. Great flash coming out of Yellowstar to pick up that kill, since they knew Candy Panda didn't have his available anymore. Just overall, perfect play out of Fnatic. And they're really using that Twisted Fate ultimate exactly how they need to. That's that's 5 kills now on 5 ultimates.
Yes, they've only went top lane once when Kevin had no Ghost and had no health. Every other time, it was on Twitch and it was on Sona. So aside from 1 kill where Soaz turned it back in the top lane, Peke has forced every single death from SK.
Phenomenal job. That's what you have to do in Twisted Fate, and he's showing why he's so good at him. And you talked about the picks and bans, like SK, you think they would assume he'd be going Twisted Fate, and you think they would have a lineup to counter that, but it hasn't been working out well for them so far.
Yeah, they thought they had enough. Apparently it wasn't the case. You knew he's going to bring it out, and they didn't fear it, and it turns out it's kind of biting them right now in the back. See if it bites them in the back door as well. SK Gaming, Candy Panda heading down towards the bottom lane. Fnatic pushing in the mid. The problem is for Fnatic right here is they don't have easy turrets to kill, and so you're seeing the pushes kind of be slowed down, and so it's into a farm game against a Twitch, which could be scary. And
the biggest thing is that they have, so we've talked about having a very squishy lineup. They don't have great range or an escape on Misfortune to, you know, chip down the turret.
Yeah.
So because of that, if SK ever wanted to go for a hard engage on Fnatic, they would just rip them to shreds. So that's why they're, you know, being really passive. They're not trying to go for any hard pushes, and we might see Xpeke be the one to really go for some split pushing to, you know, get these turrets. But that's what the SK has in their favor, is that they know they can win in a head-on-head team fight. Maybe not at this point, because the gold lead is very far ahead for Fnatic, but they can in the end.
All right, we'll see what ends up happening here. Fnatic, again, shoving down the lanes, looking for poke, but Ocelot shields it. Not a big deal there. Of course, once again, guys, we have 6 games today, and they are all blockbusters. This is just game 1, so if you just tuned into the stream, stay for the next 6 hours, because damn, these games are going to be awesome. SK Gaming are shoving up the mid lane right here, and looking for their own pressure. They've not found a turret kill just yet. They've not found more than 1 champion kill, but they're holding on as best they can. 7,000 gold separates these teams right now. Remember that some of that is a Twisted Fate passive. It's not all hard-earned money. Some of it's been swindled. Keep that in mind.
Swindled. We do see Outside going in on and raided here, but he actually might get punished.
Oh, Zonias is the Nocturne ultimate. Hercubot is in the back line, shredding people apart. Hey, Candy Pandas gets jumped on. So as the Cyanide duo him out. So as now forced to run away. Cyanide in the mix. Peke finds a kill onto Kevin. 2 for 0 so far. Now the bullet time comes across, but Ocelot finds 1 kill. They've found almost everyone going down from SK. Peke is trying to chase down onto Ocelot. They found the kill on the Nif. It's now Ocelot who's running. He's got to be in range for the gold card. He is. The wild cards come across, and it's an ace for 1 kill in Fnatic's favor.
That team fight was so perfect out of Fnatic. You saw Cyanide and Soaz jump into the backline. So we saw the Nocturne ultimate come in onto Ocelot, and he zonia'd it, but it didn't matter then because it got him right next to Candy Panda. So them two jumped on him, took him down 2v1, and then you had Heaven run into the backline against Yellowstar, and Yellowstar just tanked him and killed him because he's not tanky enough yet. He's been shut down quite a bit in lane. We have Yellowstar, who's now 3-0 and 5. Just overall perfect play to Fnatic, and great coordination as well, because he could have saw expect a gold card Nif and then, you know, get that kill, but he's like, hey, you guys kill him and I'll run after Ocelot.
Yeah, it's a really good way to maximize the total possible damage. Ocelot knew it was coming. You saw him flash the wall as soon as Destiny came by, and Rated gets out. He's going to be safe right here. And yeah, you saw the Assassins come through and just really make Candy's life miserable, and the same thing didn't happen for SK. So we see Peke running away. He is a little bit scared. However, Dragon is back up. This might be good for SK Gaming here. Candy Panda will have the damage, I think. But Peke has a ward available. He knows what's up, and the team is coming back down. SK, they just look a little bit scared. They're doing some damage.
They cannot afford to lose in their team fight here. They're going to have to back away, but we do have them chasing them down right now. Fnatic They have the potential to go in. Nocturne ultimate will be up relatively soon. Xpeke's ult is up now, but that was just perfect fight of Xpeke to just stop them, harass them as much as possible. Don't let him get that dragon, because he knew the rest of his team was coming, and SK could not afford to fight yet again.
And you can see the dragon going down right there. Perfect pickup. Smite used by Cyanide just in case someone was around, but no one was. Just wanted to get the credit for that one.
He's like, hey guys, I'm helping.
Yeah, I mean, he's really, really good at Smite steals overall. He's probably, I think, the best used Smite stealer that I've seen myself, and he's just practicing. He's making sure he can steal from his own team. Yeah,
unfortunately, luckily for him, there wasn't a bear sitting in the woods, and they did have a ward to spot that anyways. Yeah. But now, I mean, just look at the kills that came in for Fnatic. 3 kills on a SOAS, 404 on Xpeke, 305 on Yellowstar, and you even finally got 1 kill over to Cyanide and 2 assists. They are just so strong at this point, and even Enred has been playing a perfect support game. It's 008, and he also has the Lock of the Orange Solari. He has 2 GP10 behind that and a Ruby Sightstone, so he is just, he's like so happy right now because he has the items he needs.
He doesn't even need boots. I always like to see that. Just whimsical enough to not need shoes to run fast in the map. Barefoot is fine for a Yordle. Peke shoving the bottom lane. Candy Panda, though, he's looking for a kill. He waits till the card comes out, and he's going to go into this one. Blade of the Ruin King is used. The ult comes out from Peke. Will it be enough? He flashes over the wall, and Candy Panda will not chase that one. Peke just goes far enough away to survive that, and I guess good escape. But you can see, though, that the duel, it's available for SK at the very least.
Yeah, Candy Panda could have easily taken him on 1v1. Not to mention, Xpeke had no mana left really at that point, but he did get away. That's the point. Candy Panda needed to pick up that kill. He needed to get in the game somewhat, and we see a DFG now come out of Xpeke. We see an Oracle's picked up for Nocturne, and a Rod of Ages as well for Xpeke. He just like picked up 2 full items right there. He is so strong now at this point.
He half built 2 of them. He actually had the Lich Bane and the Needlessly Large Rod, then got Catalyst, and then was like, yeah, okay, I'll finish them both. Oh, like, and Rated stole red buff. And Rated just stole the red with Glitter Lance. That's going to be, I guess now it's equal because SK stole the second red buff of the game up in the top, but that's still going to be hurtful because this is the kind of the team fight phase. This is where red buff means the most because you actually need that for fight power. It's pretty good for Fnatic.
We just saw how whimsical N-rated really is right there.
Yeah, steal things away. Lizards, no problem.
And the thing is, we have the Oracle on Cyanide, so we could potentially see Baron coming up very soon as a potential kill for them. Cyanide has popped the Oracle and is putting out some wards right now, but they are going for a nice push here. They have 3 on the bot lane, 2 on the middle, and they're forcing SK to react here. They already have the inhibitor down on the mid lane.
SK have the numbers.
Yeah, they do have numbers right now. They could go for an engage.
They land the slow on the 2, and Red is trying to run away. Peke is about in this one as well. The ult comes out from Nocturne, actually forces the disengage. Ocelot trying to run away. He's going to get feared up. Pops Zonia's Hourglass, blocks a gold card as well, but here comes the ult off. Ocelot goes in, but look at the damage I put on him. He falls down. Cyanide running away, and it's going to be Kevin trying to get a kill. He does find Peke, but the backline is still alive for Fnatic. They've picked up 2 for 1 so far, and they're going to keep on pushing. Yellowstar is back to full health. That turret is theirs. They're going to keep going.
That bullet time was so perfect out of Yellowstar, if you guys noticed it. He zoned completely SK except Ocelot out of that entire fight with that. If he didn't even zone them, he got a lot of damage down into him. And we saw Xpeke, end up picking up that kill, or helping get that kill onto Ocelot. And then we had Kevin running straight into him to really push him out and really deny him some damage in the fight. But then we saw Yellowstar turn. He's like, or Xpeke like called out, hey guys, help me. He turned, killed Olaf a little bit too late, but still, that trade they just got right there was so perfect. Fnatic is just getting even farther ahead in items, farther ahead in gold, and SK at this point, 2 inhibitors down, they have to defend, they have to get farmed up here, and it just doesn't look like Fnatic's gonna let them do that.
Well, the only kind of saving grace they have is trying to defend off of the dead inhibitor and getting free farm out of that one. Kevin does have a decent amount of money, 8,400.
Yeah, and you see Hercubot just tank the wave right there and then give it over to Kevin because they know they need him tanky. He needs to be into that backline to shut down Yellowstar, at least force him out of the fight, even Xpeke, but at this point, just with the Warmogs, he isn't. So that's a great play by SK to realize that, but we'll see if they can actually work off of it.
And of course, you're seeing him go towards Hexdrinker on top of the Mercury Tread, so some Magic just knows he's more afraid of Peke and SOAS than anything else. You're just seeing the items get completed more and more for Fnatic, and now they're starting off on a Baron. SK must react to this.
And they do have a ward spotted on top of that. This one wasn't spotted over by Baron, as you can see on the left side of your screen. But Fnatic, they have the damage, they have the lifesteal to go for it. Kevin will be coming in, but that's a lot of damage Yellowstar took already.
They're gonna go full battle. Fnatic actually pulls this one back, puts a stun onto Kevin, a bit of damage there. You're seeing Fnatic forced to run away right now. SK, they're going to try to keep the ground for themselves.
I think that wasn't even really about doing Baron. It was about pulling SK away from their base so the Super Minions could push down. Now they're going to have to back. They're going to have 2 waves of Super Minions pushed in against them. And Fnatic could go for a Baron now if they want to, because they know SK will be having to defend.
And of course, the middle turret is dead right now, so it's an easy push. Asla takes a bunch of punishment. Look at the damage from Soaz, dropping him to about 2/3 health. And now Yellowstar is in range of the inhibitor. Will they go in? Yellowstar backs off, saying, no, I'm afraid of this one right now. That Misfortune, cowgirl or not, is alone. And it's not like the movies, you can't just 1v5 everything as Cowboy. So Fnatic now, they're going to go back towards the Baron Nash. You can see they're just splitting SK up. They're going for this one right here, hardcore.
Great job by Fnatic to go for this. SK can't even respawn right now. All the wards are taken out. They know Baron's being done, but I see the pings in their own base. They had to defend against these super minions, at least coming down to the bottom lane. They did throw the ones in the middle, but now with a Baron up Fnatic, they're over 10,000 gold ahead at this point. They have just leaps and bounds beyond SK in terms of items. Can SK hold on?
We'll see if they can. It's going to be very, very close right now. Fnatic have Baron. They've got a 10-kill lead. They've got 15,000 gold. So take back what I said about being very close, but there's always an opportunity. Where there's a will, there's a way. SK are grouped up in their base. Middle inhibitor taking a little bit of pressure from Soaz, but not too much. Kevin is defending that pretty successfully right now. He's got a Warden's Mail, so he's a little bit tanky, and you're seeing them go for this turret. More and more damage is being dealt. The outer turrets like this do not regenerate, so every bit of damage does stick right here. Peke locks a gold card, more damage on that turret. Candy Panda finds a bit of pressure here. He's not going to land too much. He's burned his stealth. Of course, the ultimate is available. That's going to be SK's big saving grace. The middle inhibitor now down extremely low. Those do regenerate, but the pressure here, Yellowstar is going to go for it. 2 bullets to go. No, SK stops them here. Onslaught will not go in under that one, but they're just pressuring every single lane, even the bottom lane from minions.
But the thing is, they don't have great poke, and Fnatic has amazing poke at this point. They're just hitting them down consistently, just trying to get them a little bit low. They're just being slow and cautious. They're just playing this smart, as you do see Onslaught engage on the top lane.
And they've started this one out hardcore. Yellowstar taking a whole bunch of punishment. He's going to go down right away for free. Cyanide jumps in, and Candy Panda will not find it. Watch Twitch try to eviscerate everybody. It's Cyanide trying to run away. Kevin's going to follow that one down. Soaz jumps in on a knife. He gets the kill, but he's going to flip back. He jumps into the air. Double kill for Kevin, though. They might get Soaz. They do. 3 for 1. No, 4 for 1 overall. Even Peke went down. And now N-Rated is alone. Flashes over the wall. Not so whimsical now, are you, Lulu?
And that was a Baron up Fnatic going head-to-head against SK. A 4 for 1 trade. All they lost was that top turret. They didn't lose the middle inhibitor. The bottom one still is down at this point, but a great turnaround SK. They realized that if we don't engage here, the game's we're going to lose anyways.
And it was so perfect, too, because they saw Soaz stuck on the, or I forget if it was Soaz or who, but stuck on the right-hand side fighting the inhibitor, and they just freaking went for it. 5v4, kill, 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 and just crushed that battle overall. Great engagement, great pickup.
That was a great start by Nif as well. You had Nif and Onslaught both go in there. We saw the Flash Crescendo with the Moonfall tied in together to really lock them down, and they just turned that fight. Kevin was tanky enough. He had enough damage with them. Candy Panda, who's kept alive by his team, just destroyed them.
Destroyed is the word for it. That was absolutely perfect. An amazing crescendo from Nif as well. Candy Panda was safe and no one could find him, and he's finally going to get his own red buff. Not stolen away by N-Rated, but Yellowstar's going to get his own. These guys are trading buffs pretty accurately.
And after that fight, we didn't really see a lot of items come in for SK, though. I mean, we saw the Death Cap picked up by Ocelot. We see a Crystal Scepter picked up by Soaz, but I mean, they still don't even have that much gold to spend right now, and it's not a great sign, but it is a good start to get back in the game and to take this win.
Well, there's actually a big breakpoint just reached by Candy Panda. So it wasn't a Bloodthirster early on. It was BF Sword into Ruin King into Infinity Edge. He now has Eye Edge. If he is safe in a team fight, holy crap, will he deal damage. Watch out for that Twitch. Smell him if you want to, but I don't recommend it. He's going to be a painful thing.
You might be able to smell him, but you won't be able to see him as he comes up behind you and kills you with that damage he has. And you know, Misfortune doesn't have a lot of armor. We see the Seeker's arm guard picked up for Expected, so he will be going for a Zhonya's relatively soon. But we do have 2 Warren's Mails on the map for Fnatic. We have one on the Soaz and one on the Cyanide. So if he does ever hit them, he's going to be slowed down. It's going to allow Soaz to get in there, not to mention his Crystal Scepter to slow him down and to go for the kill. But the thing is, if they're going for that, you have Kevin attacking you have Ocelot attacking you even have Hercules attacking you. It's going to apply a lot of pressure for Fnatic to make a smart play, a smart move.
Well, they've got a lot of dead buildings in the opposing base. We're going to see if they can push down the inhibitor back alive. They've got their last super minion ever in this lane right now to push in with it. They get it down to half health, but ooh, Peke, you're a little bit overextended. They're going to go in, and it's Candy Panda landing a slow, but they back out off this. They do not have Kevin, who has, I think, the most gold on that team, or at least probably the biggest initiating threat. And Peke goes back in. You can see the damage going off onto that inhibitor. Lichbane procs, of course, do hit inhibs, but gold cards don't. You just bring it lower and lower, and now Soaz comes to group with the team. It's going to be a 5-on-5. 1 hit to go. They can't quite go in. Nice block there by Sina, and they go in on the Nif, and everybody taking a whole bunch of damage. The pull in from Ocelot, he's doing this as well, but one goes down. That is Nif gone. He has used Crescendo. Now Hercubot trying to run away. He falls as well. Yellowstar finds that one for free. Soaz goes in on Candy Panda. Does Candy have enough damage? Peke finds Ocelot. That is 3 dead right now. Candy's still trying to run away. The teleport coming in. It's going to be enough to kill off Kevin, and now Candy Panda goes down as well. That is an ace for no deaths. Fnatic wins that fight.
And you just saw right there why Soaz is one of the top laners in the world. He got that nice cocoon on the Nif, and he engaged right on top of him. And because that, Nif was forced to use that Crescendo to hold the team back, they didn't hit all the right targets he needed to, and Fnatic just killed them off one by one. Fnatic will take this win and go 18-0 now against SK on lane.
And a great pickup right there. Fnatic holds on their first place.